Hi, Jesse. It's good to see you.
Yes, thank you. You too.
So, how are you doing today?
I'm a little bit stressed. My grandparents came to visit me from Puerto Rico, and it's been a little bit hectic at the house.
And how was it hectic? Tell me about that.
Well, let me back up to the beginning. So before they came to visit, they wanted to bring my cousin, because my cousin that they raised since he was like maybe 1 years old. He's 23 years old now. He has two little girls. He doesn't work. He's a gangbanger. My grandparents gave them a home paid off with property and everything. So he's lazy and they want me, I feel that they want me to straighten his ass out.
They want to leave the responsibility on
To
you.
me, right.
How does that make you feel?
It gets me angry and it bothers me because I haven't seen this kid since I was maybe 13, 14. So it's been a couple of years now since I've been to Puerto Rico. I feel that they know that I have two kids and I have a home and I have a husband, and they know that I'm raising my kids not to be in that environment. I don't want them to be, what's the word? Oh, I can't think of the word. Not sabotage. I don't want them to, whatever he has, I don't want them to rub off on them.
Influence?
Influence, yes, thank you. I don't want him to be an influence to my kids. My kids are now, one is 7 and the other one is 9. And I think that the 9-year-old is now starting to understand what is bad, what is good, you know what I mean? And I just don't want that to rub off on my home, especially with a kid that he's a gangbanger. I don't want a man, because that's who he is. He's not a kid. He's a man in my home, and that bothers me.
Have you expressed any of this to your grandparents?
To my grandfather, yes. To my grandmother, no, because she gets offended because she feels like it's her work and she doesn't want nobody to tell her otherwise of how she raised him. She gave him every single thing in his hand. And I think it's not fair. I feel that I can't tell her because she gets mad, and I don't know how to tell her that he is a gangbanger because she supposedly doesn't know this, but I think she knows. She just doesn't want to accept it. I think she's in denial.
How did your talk with your grandfather about it go? What was his opinions of it?
He really just listened. He didn't have anything else to say. He's like, well, that's him. That's all he could say. I feel that this man is draining them from their money. I mean, these are older. He's like 73 and my grandmother's 69 years old. So they're already in their retirement years. It's hard. I want to tell them that he's a gangbanger, but it's going to upset her and it's going to ruin my relationship with her. And that's what I don't want.
Do you have anybody else in the family that maybe, your grandparents can rely on to help out at all?
Everybody knows, just nobody wants to say anything because of that. Because she's going to feel very disrespected. She's going to feel very offended. And yeah, so no, nobody wants to approach her.
Have you discussed any of this with maybe your husband about
I have.
dealing with it?
I have discussed it with him, and he said that I really can't do anything because he's already a grown person. And that's how she sees him, and she's not going to see him differently. She's going to see him as her baby.
And does your husband kind of share the same feelings with you about having him around your children?
Yeah, he's expressed that no, he doesn't want him in the house at all. And my mom, and it's also my mom, so he, instead of coming with me, he went with my mom in Boston. So my mom's like, oh, he's a good kid, but this man, threatened her husband that he was going to kill him because my mom's husband gave him 30 days to find a job and move out.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I'm like, and this is the type of person you want to send over to my house with my kids? You know what I mean? It just doesn't, I can't wrap my head around that.
You said your son's, 9 and kind of getting to that age of knowing right from wrong, have you kind of had a talk with your son, just in case something like that, whether it be, an influential family member or somebody else in society, kind of about what's right and what's wrong?
We have conversations. We have weekly conversations and daily conversations when I'm taking him a bath and during dinner. How I don't, it's not that I don't want him to hang out, but I try to show him acting or being around people like this is not good for you. And he knows this. There was a kid, for example, there was a kid that was making fun of my youngest son. So my oldest son went to the kid and he's like, "What did you say about my brother?" And the kid told him, and he pushed them, and they hit the boy. And he's like, "You have to learn how to respect." So then when they called me from school that he was getting, he got suspended, I didn't punish him per se because he was defending his brother, and I feel that yes, you should be defending your brother or your mom or whatever. But at the same time, he should have never have acted like that. I don't know if yeah.
Okay.
Cool.